yourself and tell me what this program did for you.
My name is Lemuel Speed, and what the Portland Teachers Program did for me was pick me up out of the dregs of despair, because I worked for a major bank for 16 years and they laid me off. They called it downsizing at that time. And I was unemployed for almost 2 years. And a lady that knew Deborah directed me to her. She directed me to Nick Barnett. Nick Barnett directed me to a counselor and gave me the help I needed to get in school. So the program actually put me back in the labor force, and it allowed me to do something that has become my passion, and that's teaching.
Now let me ask you a controversial question, although I said I was not. How important do you think it is for a little black boy at John Ball School to look up in the morning and see you there as a strong black male authoritative figure, as his teacher?
Not to put light on myself, because I think to put any black male in that situation, for that black child, whether it be male or female, but particularly for the black male, it gives him a sense of, wow, I don't see this on TV, or I don't see this on the news. They see black males in a much different role, where it's a lot less positive. And oftentimes, I'm sorry to say, the black male is not in the home for a variety of reasons. So when they come to school and they see me there every day, hopefully it gives them a sense of, maybe I don't want to be like him, but I want to accomplish some things. And he did it, and he told us how he did it. Well, I hear him tell me I can do it, then hopefully that gives them something to get up for those 5 days a week, and hopefully it leaves them with a positive image at the end of the day.
Now, the teaching profession is predominantly white females. Do you think that's one of the reasons there's such an achievement gap in inner city schools, that you have teaching staff not reflective of the students that they teach? Or am I just being radical here?
No, you're not being radical. It's very controversial, because when you go anywhere, you want to see someone that at least resembles you. And when you don't, well, I'll put it on me. When I don't, it puts me a little bit on the defensive, because I say, well, I don't see anyone here that looks like me, then it causes me to withdraw. Not trying to be negative, because we all have to be teachers at some point if we have children, and parents are their child's first teacher. But when an African-American child or an Asian child walks into a situation and all they see is one type of person, whether it be Caucasian female, whether it be black female or black male, it puts that person on the defensive. And sometimes it doesn't make them feel good about their race or their ethnicity. But when you walk in and you see others that look like you, walk like you, talk like you, and can relate to you, you feel, I've got a chance. It's not as much of a struggle.
Now, all things being equal, it would seem that would be pretty obvious, but the teachers union, they have not been at the forefront of bringing in people of color into the classroom. In fact, in some cases, they put up a lot of roadblocks. I know you're in the union now, so maybe I should just pass on that question, right?
Well, it's hard to say what their thoughts are, but yes, there are not a lot of people of color in education, and it does not appear that that magnet or that net, if you will, is accumulating those people of color. This is why the Portland Teachers Program, who I must give the credit to Deborah Cochran, because if she was not as dedicated as she is and have the stick-to-itiveness to battle, and it is a battle, year in, year out, with people saying we need resources, and then to go out and get people of color, because let's face it, why should a black male come into a job that pays them $26,000, $27,000 a year when they can go on the business side and double that in 5 years. You have to love kids, and you want to give something back. And without that, people aren't going to be successful in the classroom no matter how much they know, no matter how much they do. Because kids will see through adults. Eventually, our true colors will show. And just like I was talking to one of the student teachers today, who is a PTP student, you can get on them, you can tell them what they're doing right, you can tell them what they're doing wrong, and they may walk away with a frown on their face, but at the end of the day, when they hang around the classroom and you've got to say, baby, it's time to go home, I have things to do, and it's 15, 20 minutes after the time that they were supposed to leave, you know that you're getting through to them because they're going to be there tomorrow smiling at you and you're smiling at them. So that's one of the small rewards, you might say.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
That was very good. I'm glad you did. I don't know. But it is. They won't tell me. But it is. It's important, okay. Right?
I talked to Karen today.
Karen, how's she doing? Is she in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh,
Her father died.
oh no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
A week ago this past Monday.
Sorry.
In Mississippi.
Because I remember they moved back. I thought that was so cool. How's her son?
He's doing very well. He was down for the service and now he's back. He's back in school.
He stayed in Portland.
But tell me about him. What was going on? She had a stroke.
So never really should be at home already. They're worried about each other. So never dictating stuff. I think that empowers her. But she's
What do they need? I know when I called Terry and that Sunday, she told me I got a chance to call her and the evidence wasn't on them. She said the evidence told her but then knowing that smell was not well, they didn't want to do it while they were all coping.
it's a family crisis. Oh, we got Terry and we got Felicia. That's right. Yeah, Felicia's doing a lot too. Young she lost her voice Sunday, and Sunday I'll teach her. That's why it was like, and you know how proud it is. She will. Okay, so I can't do it. I'll let you know. Okay.
Because right after you called me, I tried to get Terry. I didn't have a and I lost my telephone. And I didn't even have her number. So when I
to being a teacher, and because you are a woman of color, what impact do you think that has on your students, especially as we try to wrestle with the achievement gap in public schools? Is that all right?
That's all right.
Stand by.
All right.
I want you to introduce yourself and tell me that you're graduating today and from what program.
All right. My name is Shawela James, and I'm graduating from PTP today. And right now I'm student teaching at Harriet Tubman Middle School. And I decided to become a teacher because I actually grew up in Tualatin, which is a suburb of Portland. And grew up, I was one of the, besides my cousin, the only person of color in the school, didn't have any teachers of color in the school, and had a very hard time relating to school. And I just remember sitting in class, anytime anybody said the word nigger or, slavery, everybody turns and looks at me, or just remembering if anybody was talking about black people, everybody thought I was speaking for the whole race, and just feeling very isolated. So that was my inspiration to becoming a teacher. And I know that being a woman of color in the school, that I have a lot to offer students, and that they can relate to me, and I can also relate to them. I know what they're going through, I know what they've been through, and I know what they're up against in the future and what they have ahead of them. So.
Now, a lot of schools in the so-called inner city, they have a achievement gap where they score 2 to 3 grades behind their suburban counterparts. Also in these schools, there's a disproportionate number of white female teachers. Do you think there's a correlation?
Oh, do I think there's a correlation? I think there's a lot of things that have to do with the achievement gap. I think that, just the teacher training, learning how to become a good teacher, being put with master teachers and people that have proven their success, and building relationships with the students. Those are some things that I see that could be improved to help, to helping with the achievement scores and the gaps for the students.
So what are your plans for the future?
I want to teach in the Portland Public School District. I want to stay in the inner city and want to help
Think you'll
children.
stay at Tubman?
I love Tubman. I hope to stay at Tubman. I love it.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.